Hello and welcome. My name is Python V, and in the former video, I was teaching you how to set up images with JavaScript, and you should be able to send emails to your client, to whoever you want to send, dynamically from an API. And if you notice, it has a kind of quota, which is 200 emails, which can be an hindrance sometimes. So today, I'll be teaching you how to use PHP to, it's just a one single file, which you can set up at your, in your server, and I'm going to be teaching you how to use PHP to send emails to a limited number of people. And today we're going to be doing that right now. So first thing first we need to do is to have a file called mail.php. You need the composer installed. So I'm going to, in my composer.json, I'm going to be requiring PHP Mailer version 6.5. So let me just carry this one up, and let me just say composer install. So you have to have composer installed on your system so that you can get the dependencies and the packages that is going to be needed. So you're going to get a vendor file. Inside it is going to contain composer, the PHP Mailer files itself, then the auto load. So once you've done that, you're going to go back to the mail.php, and I'll be, not to waste our time, I'll be copying all these things so fast. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have PHP here. So I'm going to want to import everything I need, which is the use cases, the PHP Mailer, the PHP Mailer SMTP, the PHP Mailer, all dependencies that is going to be required. So I'm going to require what are they calling it? Auto load. So I will just take in the required auto load. I'll just drop that one here. Then surely we're going to require auto load, and so after we've required auto load, then we're going to be getting data from the from JavaScript. So if you are getting data from Postman, what are they calling it? Yeah, from Postman. You're getting the data from Postman. That means you have to encode and decode. But since you are not getting, I'm not going to be using PHP Post. I want to be using Postman to send requests from JavaScript. So I'll need to decode those things that are coming from the back. So this is how I'm going to do it. So I'm going to say data is equal to file_get content PHP input. Then I will store the decoded data into users. So when you pass it inside your fetch in JavaScript, that body is going to be encoded, decoded like this. Then I'm going to take some variables which I just want to use. For now I just want to use what are they calling it? Some kind of this one's here. So I want to specify on this. So I want to have the name, the email, the message, and the subject. That's what I need. And what again I'm going to be needing is I'm going to make sure I set my new PHP Mailer. I'm going to create a PHP Mailer object from here. So let me just bring this one down. So I'm going to store it inside the variable called mail. Then surely I'm going to try. So in case there's any error, catch, exception, so I surely need to have that exception here, which is a new variable called e. So I'm going to pass it there. So if there's any kind of error, I'm going to echo JSON encode, and I will send in that error back as as e. So I'll make sure I close this here. So I'm very sure you understand what I'm trying to do here. So here, and I'll start writing my code. So the first thing I want to do is those parameters I'm going to need: the mail, the username, because we're going to be testing this live, and the port. So I will have we have 4 values for it. So which I'll be showing you now how it works. So there are 4 values. There is the mail SMTP, is SMTP, there is the host, there's the SMTP host, there's the username, and there's the password, and there is the port. So I'll just take these 3. Yeah. So just trying to copy it so I don't waste so much time doing this. So I'll have to remove these. So this is where you're going to place most of your information and your connection. So and that's for that side. So you're going to place your host, your username, your password, then your port inside here, so in case of anything. Then once you're done with that, you surely need to, what are they calling it? Once you've placed those particular parameters there, you're surely going to need your recipient. So the recipients you're going to be sending this emails to, which we're going to configure in a minute. So you want to be setting from, what you're sending from, the subject, the add reply to, the add CC, the add BBC, and the rest. So we're going to be doing that in a GP. So that's mail, add C, add this, add that. So so I'm going to copy all of this here. So that's the mail where you want to send the mail from. You set from, are you setting it from somewhere else? The name, the rest, and then so from here we're going to take your SMTP username. So maybe you are going to be having something at something.com and the rest. So we're going to be putting this all, but I just want to get the script ready down so that we can see all we are. So in case you're going to be needing attachments, but which I will not use any attachment now, but I'm going to keep it down here. So in case you're going to be using any attachment, I'm supposed to take all of these here and place them in the try and catch so that I don't have any errors. I won't be able to have errors and not see them. So it's supposed to be inside the try and catch. So I'll make sure that I'm setting SMTP mail to be true, so that HTML to be true, because you might decide to encode HTML stuffs inside it. So let me just place it here. I know it's a rusty video, I didn't readily plan for it, but I will just paste everything. You can see what I'm doing, and I'm taking my time to make sure you can have time to copy, because I might not really have the time to send the source code, but you can always hit me up and I can send the source code. So this message content is not supposed to be message content, it's supposed to be a message here, because that's where we're going to place in the message you are sending from the back. So I'll just remove. So you can encode from JavaScript, you can write HTML, and it's going to be presenting itself in the email as HTML. So after we've done that, we want to email.send, and we want to send back a status to, what are they calling it? To this guy. To echo JSON, then you send this one. So that's that for this. So all we just have to do now is to set up everything and see how it works. So this is what we require, this is what we need. We have our new PHP mailer, we have the SMTP and the rest. So I'll save this and I'll just reveal this in File Explorer. So come to my desktop. So I think for now, let me just, I think this is it, my new folder. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to open my Zaham here. I'm going to open my Zaham. I'm going to start. I think that's all I need to start. Then I'm going to go to where my Zaham is currently, which is my local disk, which is my Zaham, and I'll put inside the HTC docs. Then I'll just paste it here. So let me just rename this as PHP Mailer. So I think that is it. So once I come to my browser now and I just open on localhost /PHP Mailer, waiting for the localhost to boost to say connection refused. Let me see if my XAMPP is opened. So it's important for my XAMPP to be open. It looks like my XAMPP is not running yet, or I did spend my localhost times. Sorry, HTTP. Got to put localhost. So it's possible my XAMPP is not turned on. Let me try again. XAMPP control panel. I thought I turned you on. Start. Apache is not starting. What's wrong with Apache? Maybe some ports are on. I don't know. So let me reload. Okay, it's working now. So I'll just put /PHP dashboard. So when you are going to be sending any kind of request, you are going to be sending it to the mail/php. So right now we're going to have issue because we've not put in some. So you can see a valid address. We've not put in anything. Trying to get property PHP Mailer from PHP Mailer vendor. So we've not actually put anything inside yet. So we're going to do that in a jiffy. So we are going to fill in the required informations on how we're going to use it. So what we need is the host, the username, the password, and the port. We have the port. So I'll just try and get one, which I think I should have. So let me try and get one. Let me open Google Chrome. Let me go to Data Tech, and I'm going to use I think I have one web panel which I can use. So we just be signing in with Google with my web panel, so we can create a testing mail and we can send and see how it's going to work. So I'm going to continue as this. So if you have a web mail, it's something you can just dive in and just test. So we're going to test it here. I'm going to push it here, even push it live here, so we can see it work. So I'm trying to connect to here. What's wrong with this one? Connect to this. Okay. So once I've signed in here, then I can, start coming to my service. I'm going to go to my cPanel, which is this one. So if you have a cPanel, it's something that you can host it on. They were going to be testing it with Postman, and sometimes it requires HTTPS access. So I will just go down to my cPanel. I'm going to create a new webmail, and I'll just teach you how to create a new webmail. You can use your Gmail, but I don't want to go to the stress of getting my Gmail authentication. That is another video entirely. So I'm going to go to the mail section, which I'm going to say, I think I passed the mail section, I think. So sorry, I'm rusty. So I'll come to emails, and I will send I will try and, looks like I can only create one. I'm permitted to just create one. Well, since I'm permitted to create one, I'm going to use this one. So I'm going to, I need to manage because I've forgotten the password. So I'm going to generate a new password, Ctrl A, Ctrl C. And I'm going to update this. Then I'll come back to my panel here, and I'm going to put the password here. So what I need now is the username. So to get the username, I'm going to come to connected device. Come down to, I will use non-SSL for now. I'll come and take the username, which is this one here, username. Although it's the same for both, I'm going to place the username here. So what I need is the host here. I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to get the host for outgoing, because I want to send emails out from this email address here. So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to put the host here. The port, to get your port, you get your port here, which says 587 for outgoing. For incoming is 143, but we're not going to be using incoming. If you are using SSL, you're going to be using 465. But since I'm not using XSL, I'm going to be using 587. So, and if it doesn't work, you can change it and see which one works best. So I think that is all I'm going to need here, which I'm going to save. And now I want to set from address. Where am I setting the address from? So I'm sending it from this support here. I'm going to put it here. You can give it a name. You can say flex and support. And what again? So add address. So the address you're going to add can be in comma, but whoever I'm passing their emails, whoever email I'm passing from the email, I want to send it to the email, and I want to send the person's name along. So this is the name. So I'm adding the address, the person's email, the person's name. You can leave this add reply to, but if you want, I'm just going to paste all these ones inside. So just say info, add CC. I'll just place this one inside, just for support mode. We'll talk about the attachment later in the course. Then this is the subject. So we're getting the subject from the back. The subject. What again do we need? The body, and when we are done, we send it and we echo JSON encode success. So that's how we intend to do with new PHP Mailer and the rest. So if I'm correct and I don't have any issues, I think this should work properly. So we're going to test it with Postman first and see if it's going to work. So the 4 values we need is name, email, message, and subject. So I'm going to save it. Then I'll come back here. So let's reload. So this is my link to send to Postman. So I'm going to put my Postman here. We're going to try to test here. So if it doesn't work on the server, if it doesn't work on your local host, we're going to take it to the cloud. We're going to test it here. So it should work on one of those, any of them. So it should surely work on there. So if it doesn't work, that means we have issues with our dependencies. Either they are outdated or up to date. So I'll put post. I'll click on body because I'm using JavaScript. Click on the body. I'll make sure it's in raw and is in JSON. Then I'll put this. So the 4 values I need is if I'm checking again, I'm going to need name, email, message, and subject. So I'm going to put name. Let's put on editor. I'm going to put email. I'm going to put 18@gmail.com. Message. So it can be in Java. It can be in what are they calling it? It can be in HTML format. But I'll just say hi. Good boy. Then the subject, the ones that shows subject. Then I'll put hello. We are testing this. So we're going to cross our finger that it's going to work on localhost. And if it doesn't work on localhost, we're going to push to what are they calling it? To the server. So let's try. But I'm not going to get any error. It says invalid address, PHP Mailer set from it's not working, set from. So it should work. Okay, yeah, it's not going to work because I am actually loading this from what are they calling it? I'm loading this from my VS Code and it's not supposed to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here. I'm supposed to edit the one in this one. I'm supposed to edit this one with code. So this particular one does not have the changes that I have implemented. As you can see, it doesn't have the changes. I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to save. Then if I come back here to reload, I won't get some kind of errors here. So let me try again to send this request. If it's going to work. It says could not authenticate PHP Mailer vendor from. So we couldn't authenticate, whether we have some issues with the password or maybe because it is online or the server. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this code, I'm going to zip it and I'm going to push it to the cloud so that we can test it there. So possibly, so I'm going to Control A, 7-zip, and I'm going to add to archive. So quickly I'm going to come back here. Come to tools here. I think I'm going to create a new subdomain. So I'm going to come down here to domains. If I'm going to be allowed, I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to create just one so that I can use. So I'll call it test.plex and.buzz. I use this for most of my testing. I'm going to submit. I'm going to copy this link. I'll wait for it to load up. So this is what we're going to be sending to /mail.php. So wait for this. So this one is done. So I'm going to come to the file manager where this guy is kept. I'm going to file manager here. And I'm going to look for test.plex.buzz, and I'm going to have to upload all of this here. So I'm going to come in. I'm going to upload my file to the server. So there's a possibility that it's not going to work on the local host, which I've not actually tested on the local host. I was getting some issues using it on local host. So I'll do this and I'll go back home. So I will extract it here. So I have this. So let me just test what I did worked. So yeah. So let me try /mail.php if I'm not having any kind of error. Yeah, I'm getting none. So it's working now. So I'm not having any because I've not posted anything. So I'll come back here and let's send the request again and see if we're going to have it to work. Yeah, I say status success. So I'm going to go to my mail here, come to my Gmail. Then, so I think it requires a server for it to go. It will not actually work on localhost except you. So as you can see, Plex N. Yeah. So that's on my first bank. You can send me money if you want. You can buy me a coffee. As you can see, I'm a good boy. You can see the info, and it is not even sending to the spam. It's actually sending it to your directory, and that's how to use PHP Mailer. You can use the services as an API to send millions and unlimited number of mail. And I think it's going to be good for people and companies out there who require this script to do this. Thank you for this video. I really appreciate the time, the availability to watch this video, and please do not forget to subscribe, follow me on this platform. I always drop good content and useful content. My name still remains Python P, and I'll see you in other upcoming videos to come. Thank you very much.